Fantasy Football Show.
Hello everybody, welcome to Planet FPL Clash of the Correspondents. My name's Suj.
Oh, you're back. You turned up this week. My name's James.
Everybody was sliding into my DMs and we missed you. So I had to give the people what they want. Each and every Thursday, we invite on two correspondents representing two teams who play FPL, visit their stadiums, watch their clubs, and talk nonsense to us. Why don't you introduce her? I was going to say, visit their grounds, go and watch the games. Who have we got, James?
We are joined today by two lads who may well have a double game week 34. You never know your luck. We are joined by Mark at FPL_Badger, our Norwich City correspondent. How are you, Mark?
I'm very well, thanks. Cheers for having me back on.
Yeah, I thought twice about it after that FA Cup fifth round game. And we're also joined by we're joined by the man whose team probably would have given Norwich a proper game in the FA Cup fifth round. It's our Southampton correspondent, Ali at FPL_Gaffer. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very well. Thank you guys for having me back.
No worries at
Good
all.
Man.
Interesting game this week. How are you feeling about it, Mark? After I know you said you travelled up to Sheffield United for the game against them.
Yeah, I went up there. Again, it was a typical Norwich away game, really. We created a couple of chances. Pukki hit the post in the first half. He's now not scored in open play since the Leicester game, as James mentioned on the main pod. That's in open play. He scored a couple of penalties, but he's gone, I'd say off the boil, but he's not far off it. He looks tired and he don't look fully fit. And they did look like a team that had played extra time at Tottenham. They looked a little bit leggy, and it was the same sort of back forward keeper. There was a few changes, the rest of the team. Had a couple of chances second half. Sheffield United done what they needed to do. They got the goal and defended really well, and there was no breakthrough for us. So that's the thing. We didn't look like scoring more than one. So Sheffield United, pretty comfortable, really.
It's 6 away goals. Is that right, Mark?
It's terrible, isn't it? Yeah, really poor. Especially bearing in mind last year, obviously we were sort of free scoring. Our away record was fantastic. And again, it goes back to, if Pukki and Cantwell are not scoring, which they're not at the minute, Cantwell's not scored since New Year's Day. At home, it's fine. We can win 1-0 at home, but we're not grinding out them sort of results away. But yeah, that's poor. 6 goals ain't going to keep you up away from home, and I mean 2 of them was at Everton. So fair chunk of them were in one game. So that tells you what you need to do when you play us at home.
Did you, after the Leicester game, think, you know what, there's still a little glimmer of hope here?
I think there still is. Yeah, in a ridiculous kind of way. We're 6 adrift, 7 with the goal difference. We've got that 5-game game run coming up at home where they're all winnable. Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Burnley, and Brighton. So the 5 there, even if we win all 5 of them, which we probably won't, we still need to get something away. We still need to get something at Watford, Arsenal, Chelsea or Man City. I don't think we're going to. I think I could see us winning, a fair chunk of the home games, but just not getting anything away. We need to win 2 of them away games. I don't think we're going to win 1, let alone 2. But there is still a chance, because you don't know, some of them other teams down there have got terrible runs where they could sort of lose 5 or 6 on the spin, whereas I don't think we'll do that.
Yeah, the problem is it's back to 6 adrift again now, isn't it? I think from them 5 home games, you probably need at least 12 points to give yourself a chance. Mm-hmm, and as you said, you probably are going to have to pick something up away from home. So unfortunately, it is looking very, very tough now. But I don't think it's beyond you, because I think, as we've seen in a lot of games this season, when you play well at home, you really play well at home. So you are capable of winning all of those on paper that we've mentioned. You are capable of winning them, Mark.
Yeah.
Ali, how are you feeling about Saints, mate? Are you safe on 34 points?
Well, when we went on that fantastic run of form after the battering at Leicester, I had some memories of our European challenges, and we looked really good. We looked like we could beat most teams in the league, but we've struggled for form recently, only winning one in the last 4 or 5.
1 in 5, 4 defeats in that as well.
Yeah, which is back to the form that has me panicking for relegation. But I don't feel we will go down now. I feel like we have too many points to go down. And like Mark says, there are too many battles at the bottom where there are going to be draws. So obviously Norwich are playing quite a few of the teams that are fighting down the bottom. And there's going to be some draws down there that are going to keep them cemented down there, not just Norwich but other teams sort of fighting until the last day, whereas I feel like a draw for us is quite a positive result, taking us that one step closer to mathematical safety.
I do think you guys as well, in terms of fixtures, don't have it as bad as some of the teams down at the bottom.
It doesn't look too bad.
You've got quite a few winnable fixtures there.
Yeah, it does. The next one being probably what would be on paper the easiest fixture. You're facing bottom of the league. However, with that, poses its own challenges of they will be scrapping for everything, and we're just not in form at the moment. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate because I actually quite like Norwich as a football club, but they are struggling down the bottom of the table. So, on paper, this should be quite a straightforward match for Southampton. However, over the last sort of 2 or 3 seasons, we've realised that we don't do things the easy way, and Norwich are fighting for everything, and they've got quality in their side. They just need to find that to really take something from this game.
What do you think is led to this loss in form? The one thing that I noticed at the London Stadium was lack of energy. I mean, Southampton have always done well under Hasenhüttl when they've been able to press lot and play with high energy and close teams down, and that high work rate, but it didn't feel like a performance that had any kind of energy or oomph in it.
Yeah, it was a funny one because coming off the win against Villa, followed that poor performance against your boys, and it was a shame. It didn't feel like it felt like they were a team that was safe, and they knew that they were safe, and they didn't really play with the intensity that I was hoping for, really. Like you say, like I said before, West Ham are fighting for every point at the moment. So, I think they would have gone into that match knowing full well that West Ham were going to bring some heat towards them. But there was no real answer for that. There aren't major squad injuries at the moment. There are no selection headaches for Ralph at the moment. It was a really bad, poor performance.
I think you're doing yourself a bit of an injustice there, Ali. I think Nathan Redmond is a massive miss for you.
Yeah, he is. But I feel like we have some good squad depth now. So where I say no major squad injuries, I think he's got some people that he can rely on in those attacking positions now that are pressing the ball well and posing a good threat and putting some good service into Danny Ings. But obviously, we've got the red card to Gineppo now, which is an issue on going forward. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting one to see how he sets up. I think Sofiane Boufal now has pretty much got his starting spot now, so he needs to keep that when Redmond eventually comes back and Gineppo comes back from suspension as well.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it a few times about Redmond. It really felt like the goal at Palace, and then he played ever so well in the fourth round replay at Tottenham and was a threat in the first game of that tie as well. Felt like he was really beginning to hit a bit of form, and it's obviously got derailed. And Gineppo obviously wasn't helped by the bereavement in the family. He's been and out the team, injury, then that, and then now obviously the red card. He's going to miss the rest of this March period. And Boufal has unbelievable talent. He can make anybody look stupid. but it just never equates into a final ball or anything. And that's why I think Danny Ings' returns have diminished somewhat as well. It's kind of coincided with Redmond's absence. Should FPL owners be concerned if they own Danny Ings at the moment, Ali?
It does seem that way because as we've spoken about Redmond quite a lot. I mean, he's been my recommendations in a couple of articles that I've done for you before because, like you say, he is a real threat on the football pitch. Doesn't really equate to fantasy points for Redmond, but he does a lot for the team and he works exceptionally hard. But yeah, since he's been out of the team, Danny Ings' points have dried up a little. I wouldn't buy him right now, but I probably wouldn't rush to sell him because, like you said, we've got some quite nice looking fixtures coming up, and any goals that we do score will come through Ings, so I wouldn't sell him if you own him either.
Yeah, I think I'm going to hold him for one more blank. That's about where I'm at.
Is that how you
moment.
feel?
Yeah, you feel that anger to him.
I think like frustration for me with Southampton is if we go back to assessing sort of that period where they won at Palace, and although they've got battered at Liverpool in the end, they played really well for long periods in that game. At
Anfield. I felt that. Yeah,
and it felt like the team was really settled.
Yeah,
really settled, and then there's been an issue at right back, which has meant Ward-Prowse has come out the centre midfield as well. Now, I know like Will Smallbone's gone in there, young kid, and he's done all right, and he's got a great name. But then with Redmond out as well, it's been chopping and changing the forward department. It went from a really settled team to suddenly being, well, I'm not sure how they're going to line up now. And I think that's what's caused a bit of problems.
Yeah, it's quite nice having the options, but I'm glad that this is happening now, because if this was happening 2.5, 3 months ago, we'd have been in real problems. But I'm not worried for relegation at the moment. So we're not going to challenge for Europe. So I do feel like this is a good time to be experimenting with that lineup. I think we now know what lineup works for us, and when Redmond comes back in. And hopefully our right back situation with Walker Peters is almost sorted. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a funny team at the moment. But I'm glad this is happening now.
Well, I suppose it's
Valerie got the nod at the weekend, didn't he? It was interesting.
Well, then yeah, he was the talk of a lot of controversy afterwards.
Mark, are you right there? How's that cough?
Yeah, I'm all right.
I'm just worried that any Norwich City fan, Planet FPL listeners who will watch you cough and they'll be like, I'm not going to the game on Saturday anymore because I've seen him coughing.
So let's not do suggesting that now. It might by the time Saturday comes around, it might be behind closed doors anyway.
Well, yeah, funny, but yeah.
Was there the Six Nations was halted today?
Yeah,
I think it was at Scotland, France, or Ireland, France. One of the games is
England and Italy's off as well.
England,
isn't
Italy's already off, so it's round the corner.
France and Ireland, I think.
The footy games behind closed doors. Romania playing all of their games behind closed doors. But let's touch wood.
Let's hope Norwich Southampton makes it there, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's hope the whole season makes it. You have to keep everyone safe and whatnots. And because we're doing a podcast, we have to be politically correct and say that, isn't it, Suj?
Well, it depends what type of podcast we're doing.
The priority is everybody's health. It's not me being able to go to the games.
No.
Not that I even fucking want to at the moment.
That's another show where we interrogate your pain. So.
Mark, talk to me a little bit about the fullbacks, because I feel obviously Lewis scored the goal against Leicester. Sam Byron was doing quite well in that position actually, but I feel Lewis being back in has actually helped Aaron's again.
I think so. Look. Lewis, funny enough, started the season better than Aaron's, and Lewis was probably quite unfortunate that he was the one who dropped out when he got a little niggle. Byram defensively, I would say, is better than the pair of them. Maybe not obviously in the future, but offering us what he has done this season, we needed Byram to come in, and his attacking play is not what the others are. We lack something that way, definitely, but he's come in and he can defend. Zimmerman, he came in and he can defend. So we needed to sort that because the goals were just going crazy, weren't they, early in the season. Lewis, is probably the one who's not talked about as much as Aaron's, but he's sort of got every bit of the ability to sort of kick on in his career. I think Aaron's 100% would get sold in the summer, regardless of what league we're in. I think Lewis probably would go as well. It's just obviously, them sort of boys have got to be a little bit careful what clubs they go to, I think, and that make sure it's the right fit for them with their career paths.
I think he's implying something there.
Yeah.
Max Aarons has obviously been very heavily linked with Spurs.
Yeah, he has, yeah. He's been brilliant. I've really enjoyed watching him the last sort of month or so. I think he's a big outlet for us because of a lot of our plays going down the left-hand side, and he's freeing up a hell of a lot of space on the right. His distribution's getting better, his awareness is getting better, and I mean he's only a young boy and he's only 20, so he's still learning the trade. Lewis is 1 year above him. He's from the academy, so he's got that little bit more experience. But yeah, they're both good. They both have made a lot of mistakes this year though, and it's sort of just a shame we didn't have sort of a couple of older heads alongside them sometimes, just to sort of bark their orders and put their arm around the shoulder, just sort of try and coach them on the pitch a little bit. And
talking about another young lad, Mark, briefly, just having a look through Todd Cantwell's numbers. Now, when we played you in the league, I fed back on the podcast afterwards that he was a much better footballer than I thought he would. I thought he was, sorry. But no FPL returns, unless you're heralding the 3-pointers, which I saw a few people do after the Leicester fixture. No attacking returns, should we say then, since game week 21. And
can take a penalty, though.
Half of his attacking returns were in the first 5 game weeks. So it's actually only...
And did you see when his last assist was as well?
His last assist, he got the 2 in the same game, wasn't it? Game week 2.
Exactly. So you can't say he's good for assists because he isn't.
I think we're still in the mode, though, that he's good value, aren't we?
I think he has to be, though, because of where he's playing on the pitch and the price. I mean, if I was to wildcard now and I needed the extra money, I would, I wouldn't think twice. I'd get rid of him. But that would be for me scraping for the extra 0.2, 0.3. If I weren't bothered, then I'd still keep him, but I just wouldn't play him. Like me, I own him. I haven't been playing him much at all lately. I wouldn't play him away from home. Like this week, I think he was second or third on my bench. I think second. I think my third on my bench was Holgate at Arsenal, but no, not Holgate at Arsenal. Was he?
Everton.
I can't.
Chelsea.
Everton, yeah.
Chelsea.
That's it, sorry, yeah, at Chelsea, yeah. So yeah, I'm playing Campbell less and less. There might now and again be an attractive home fixture. I was keeping him for obviously thinking game week 31. That doesn't come into play now. So yeah, I wouldn't rely on him too much. No. He looks like like saying like Pukki's. Sort of looks tired and jaded and looks like he needs a good rest. He looks the same. Cantwell, I think, he played every minute at Tottenham. He's started at Sheffield United and that, and he's a young boy. He looks like he needs a good rest now, to be honest. And we're pinning all our hopes on him and having to play him week in, week out because there's no one who's sort of got that little bit of sort of creativity and imagination, probably other than Buendia.
Did Duda's not come in and done what you thought he could have, or Rupp?
No,
they're not good enough.
Not in terms of the goals. I mean, Duda's not scored, and this is the whole thing we were saying the last time I was on. Duda came in because McLean wasn't scoring, Buendia wasn't scoring. Duda's not scored. He's missed a load of chances, the same as the others. He looks good on the eye. Played really well against Leicester. Linked up well as sort of part of the attacking trio behind Pukki, but he's not scored. Goes missing a little bit in the away games. Rupp offers us more away from home, but he ain't going to win you too many games. He's there to sort of throw a few challenges in, and that sort of, in terms of FPL points and winning us games, them two I don't think are the answer.
Ali, talk to us about the goalkeeper if you can, because we both own, and we're both rubbing our hands at the return from Saturday. I mean, that's a different conversation, how badly BPS is weighted to goalkeeper penalty saves. But in any case, me and Suj will take the 12 points from the weekend. Shall we now just bin him off?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was similarly rubbing my hands together, and I tweeted about, God, just imagine if we didn't concede that goal as well, because, I mean, for myself, I had Jack Stevens starting as well. So, I mean, that would have been, with my double Wolves defence, that would have just been fantastic, exactly what I needed. But, yeah, McCarthy, quality, I was so pleased with him towards the end of last season, felt he kept us in the Premier League. I'm over the moon that he's got his starting position back. He made, was it 6? Did he get 2 save points at the weekend? So he, plus the penalty save, he's in good form at the moment. It was a shame that he went and conceded the goal. But I feel there are a couple more clean sheets to come from us yet against, Norwich, and then hell, it might be slightly biased, but Norwich and then Watford. There could be 1 or 2 clean sheets in there, but I wouldn't bin him off if you have him.
It's interesting,
and I would probably, unlike Danny Ings, I would probably say if you don't have him and you need a second keeper in preparation for the bench boost, potentially bring him in.
Okay, that's interesting.
Is he nailed on still? Because I've heard a lot of chat about Angus Gunn sort of maybe being given another chance.
Yeah, he's been floating around for quite a while. He was brought in to be the number 1 goalie, but I don't feel there's any need to take it off McCarthy. I feel like the penalty save will probably keep him in goal for a little bit longer.
Mark, great assist there, because that was the next question. Well, there was a lot of questions after Southampton played you, wasn't there, Suj?
Yep.
There was a few people questioning,
alligator arms?
It wasn't great what he did there with the Aller goal, but I think the performance at the weekend has killed any concerns over.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle had over 10 shots. I think they might have had 15 shots and almost 10 of them on target.
He had 2 points after about 10 or 12 minutes. I was like, where's that save point come from? He made 4 saves in the first 10 or 12 minutes. I was like, I'll take that.
Yeah, he looked really good against Newcastle, but like you say, a little bit unconfident after at West Ham, but I don't feel he'll be changed after just 1 or 2 poor performances. I think it would need to be quite a few poor performances in a row for him to be changed. But it seems to me that he's got the Premier League number 1 spot nailed at the moment.
That's a shame, because Angus Gunn's a big Norwich fan, so I was hoping he might come in and do us a favour this weekend.
Chuck the ball in his own net.
Is he Brian Gunn's son, Mark?
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Brian Gunn. It was a good goalkeeper.
Son of a gun, eh?
In the 90s. He's literally a son of a gun. Yeah, you're quite right.
There we go. How do you feel about your FPL season so far, boys? I can see, looking at the FPL Correspondents League, from between Mark, Ali, myself, James, there's like 35, 40 points between all of us. So we're all in and around that just under 1,600 points mark, somewhere between 700,000 and 400,000.
Yeah, I noticed I was four points above you, Suj, so I'm looking over my shoulder a little bit.
Jamie Vardy hat-trick tonight will solve that.
Jesus, 3 nights ago, Suj. Don't give the game away.
Oh, true.
My season, I'm not particularly enjoying it. Like, I feel like I'm getting nowhere. I have a couple of good weeks, and I sort of head up to sort of maybe 200k, and then I have like maybe 3 bad weeks, and I'm down to sort of 400k, and I'm sort of just floating in the middle there. I've made a couple of cock-ups with transfers like Traore and Maddison, buying them in at the wrong time, and Son, like I seem to always sign in when he gets sent off or gets injured.
Can you not buy him again then?
So yeah, I'm plodding along, but my average is sort of like a 45 and a 50, and I want to be sort of 10 over that. I'm not getting anywhere at the minute. So hoping maybe by the time we start using our chips, depending on what.
Do you still have your free hit and bench boost left?
Yeah, still got them.
Second
too,
wild card.
Still got that. Yeah, not sure about plans exactly, but hopefully you guys can guide me.
What about you, Ali? How are you feeling?
Yeah, very similar in terms of just plodding along, and I seem to have, similar to Mark, a couple of good weeks and then a bad week that just sort of spoils it all. And I'm just looking back through the last few weeks for me here. I've had some weeks where I've been sort of 15, 20 points above the average, and then I'll go back to game week 23 and I'm 20 points below the average, and that seems to be quite a significant red arrow, but the green arrows are not as large, which is a bit of a shame. But I've played my triple captain and it was on Trent, and he scored me 12 points that tripled to 36.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm pleased with that. That took me above the average for that week, and I'm currently at the moment around 600k, which 700k, which is quite high for me this season, but it's nowhere near where I would like to be in comparison to where I was last season. But I'm looking at sort of mini cash leagues now and just trying to gain on I'm second in my sort of main mini league, and I'm about 20 points behind first place, but his team's in a much worse position than mine. He's used his wild card, so I'm just hoping that I can catch him.
Every listener just went, can I get in that mini league next year?
Well, yeah,
I reckon
if I'm second and I'm 700k in the world, like, can't
we still wouldn't win it, Suj.
Nah, I reckon your guys' thoughts are very similar to a lot of, because you guys are experienced, seasoned FPL managers. I think your guys' thoughts echo what a lot of people feel about this season. It's been a real slog, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, sometimes 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But I don't know what you guys think. I actually think now that we are starting to get a clear picture of game week 31, 34, 37, and then 38 with the doubles and blanks and the wild cards, there is going to be some real significant movement to be made. Like I'm, maybe 20, 30 points ahead of you, Ali. I still am looking at top 100k as my target. And I don't think it's too far off you, even thinking that top 100k is more than doable if you still got your free hit, bench boost, wildcard. You're going to tell me that you've used all those chips now?
Yeah, no, I've still got my bench boost. I've still got my free hit, so yeah. I will be free hitting in 31 just because I am dead ending my team to that point, and yeah, so then I'll bench boost in the larger of the doubles when I can sort of get my head around those double game weeks, and yeah, that will be some significant jumps towards the end of the season.
On doubles, just briefly before we ask for final predictions, there is a scenario where 3 teams double in game week 34, and Norwich and Southampton could be 2 of those 3. Can I ask, starting with Mark, forget value, what are the best 3 Norwich players that we could put in our squad if that's the scenario?
The best 3? Well, you'd have to have Cantwell. Because he plays, he'll be nailed on, he'll play, there's a chance of an attacking return. Pukki, I don't know, a lot can happen between now and then, but you'd probably throw in a defensive asset. Hanley's still playing, 4.0. I know, obviously, a lot of people be like, I'm not going to touch that defence because, that they do ship goals. But if for home fixture, we conceded, we get to clean sheet, home to Bournemouth and again home to Leicester. And then obviously, who knows this week? He's actually our best centre half at the minute, which might not say an awful lot, but he is playing. So I'd go Hanley, Cantwell, and then you could you're scraping a little bit then for the third.
He's not saying Pukki.
You just say Pukki a little bit. You just say Pukki.
But he's not saying it,
Go
obviously.
Throw him in. Throw Pukki
it's gotta
in.
be, isn't it?
Pukki, Cantwell, Hanley.
Yeah.
No, I'm not having that. You got to go. If you're going for it, you got to go for Aaron's, haven't you?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would. It would just be for the assists. Aaron's has only got 2 assists this season, so
he's due one. Isn't he?
Yeah, he is. It all depends that there's 0.5 between Hanley and Aaron. So depending on your on your funds.
I think if this situation came round, value
would have enough
wouldn't
money.
be a problem.
Yeah. And the same with Southampton, Ali. We could afford any of them. So let's just say JWP's a lock because we like him. So JWP, you got two more choices. No, you can have your three. You can have your three.
Yeah, see, I probably wouldn't pick him at the moment, I don't think. Just because of what James said, really, about him kind of not knowing his position in the side at the moment. Although he is still on set pieces and he's got a lot of quality to offer from that. But I think the three I would pick are actually the three that I own. So I'd go for Ingsy, Stevens and McCarthy.
That's good. So
I think any goals that we score are going to come from Danny Ings, and I do feel like we are looking, with the exception of the West Ham and Liverpool game, we are looking much more solid than we have looked when I've been on previously in podcasts, to the point where if we kept the clean sheet against Newcastle, I don't think it would have been a massive surprise. Newcastle were dominating the game, using their extra man exceptionally well, but I don't think I would have been overly surprised had we kept the clean sheet for 90 minutes. So yeah, I'd go for a double defence and Danny up top.
Cool. Now we've got Holgate, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, Salah, Mane. There's your free hit team.
Happy days. We're done.
Cool.
The only thing we don't know is whether or not these teams have got doubles.
We definitely don't.
I know Ali was saying, as the doubles become clearer, if they become clearer, mate, let us know, because we're still in a bit of a fog. Predictions for the weekend? Ali, go on.
Start, Marco.
Go on,
Ali. Go on then. I'm home and I. So I think Norwich will win. I think we have to win, and it's not very often I'd say that this season. I do think we'll have enough just to scrape a 1-0 at the weekend. I think it'd probably be a defender that will score again, similar to the Leicester game, and that you might even get a Tim Krul penalty save. Sorry, James.
Ali, what are you thinking for the weekend?
Hey, listen, me and Mark need to talk. No, go on, Ali.
I think there's some bouncing back to do from Saints, and I feel like we'll probably have too much quality on the day, and I'm going to go for 3-1 Southampton.
3-1 to Southampton. I think this is a very tough one to call. Very, very tough one to call. On paper, I think Southampton probably do have a better squad, but I think in terms of work rate, Norwich are going to be up for it and really go for it. I think the home fans will get behind them because it's a really, really important game. I'm going to say Norwich are going to nick this 2-1. Just.
For Ali, I'm concerned that if they lose this, he may never come back on following coming on before the 9-0 Leicester and then coming on before losing at home to West Ham. I mean, it doesn't get much worse than that.
There is a bit of a pattern.
but I reckon, Ali, that I reckon that I tipped you to win both of those two games. So even the Leicester game, I'm sure I did. So I'm going to do you a favour, mate. I actually think Norwich might win this quite comfortably at the weekend. I'd say 3-1.
Ooh.
Oh. Wow.
So three Norwich predictions.
I just think it's needs must, Ali. I don't think there's any concerns over you. I just think that there's a couple of key issues at the moment you're missing. Yeah. And I think like once Redmond's back, you get Ward-Prowse back in the middle of the pitch and stuff like that. It'll be better for it. Norwich can't do anything but win this weekend, and I think they will.
Yeah, if they're looking at their running, this needs to be a game they take 3 points from.
And in 2 days' time, we'll know who was right and who was wrong.
None of us if it's a draw.
Yeah, true. Gents, thanks for joining us again on Clash of the Correspondents. You never know with the fixtures, with the number of games, we may be able to get you on once more before the end of the year. James will know how the diary drops. But yeah, we appreciate all of the interaction on Twitter, sharing of all the content, all of the articles that you write and so on and so on. It's a really important, valuable for the FPL community and our listeners that we get all of that information. So thanks for that.
Nice one. Cheers, Serge. Thanks.
And James.
See you in the championship.
Yeah.
Well recovered, Mark.
Low
I feel
blow.
better. You well deserved to win that cup. So I do just want to say one thing on Norwich, actually, which a player that we never talk about. I think Ben Godfrey has a lot of potential. I think he could end up being a top player.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say about that.
Cool.
Coming up tomorrow is
Tell
Final
us.
Plan Game Week 30 preview. Find out how Tudge's wiping his team apart, and I'm probably rolling a transfer. We'll be talking differentials again because they're flying. I don't know how much longer we can hold on to Bruno Fernandes. And, well, you'll know by now if my Aubameyang triple captain died on its arse or not from its South team. At the moment, at the time of recording, I don't, but I'm assuming that it did. Other than that, thank you very much, gents, and good luck this weekend.
Ciao for now.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys.
No
Cheers.
worries.
Cue music, man, child.
The Fantasy Football Show.